please rise as we welcome your 2018 City High Middle School graduates. audience please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the Union High School JROTC Color Guard and the singing of the national anthem, performed by the City High Middle School Chorale.
Present arms. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Please be seated. We are honored that several Board of Education members and Cabinet members have chosen to attend our graduation celebration. I would like to introduce the following stage guests. Reverend John Matthias, Board Member. Ms. Jen Schottke, Board Treasurer. Dr. Wendy Verhag Fall, Board President. Mrs. Teresa Weatherall Neal, Superintendent. Dr. Ronald Gorman, Assistant Superintendent, Pre-K-12. In addition, I would like to acknowledge several of our Cabinet members who are seated in the audience. Please rise. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Teresa Weatherall Neal, Superintendent of Schools.
Good evening. What a wonderful sight. To the graduates, welcome, class of 2018. It is such an honor to stand before you today. Family, friends, my colleagues, board members, thank you for supporting our students. We are here to celebrate you this evening. As you go on your journey, I want you to know there will be hiccups, there will be trials, but know that you can do it. We are always here for you as your family. You will always be connected to us. We want you to be excited about your future. Be excited about what you're going to challenge. You'll be able to get over the hump and change this world and do whatever you can. It has been an honor to serve you as your superintendent during your time at City Middle High. I am so proud of you. No one could be more proud of your accomplishments than your parents, your teachers, your friends, but I want you to be proud of what you have accomplished to get here. It took a lot of hard work. Enjoy your day.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Ronald Gorman, Assistant Superintendent.
City High Middle School families and friends, good evening. Thank you for your continued support of the class of 2018. City High Middle School and GRPS have accomplished a tremendous amount over the last 6 years since you were in 7th grade. And we are all aware that without your support, we would not be as successful as we currently are today. To the proud City High Middle class of 2018, let me take a moment to acknowledge how hard you have worked over the last 6 years. All of you have taken rigorous IB courses and IB exams, participated in extracurricular activities like sports, robotics, Fiddler on the Roof, forensics, speech and debate, and Model UN. And you even supported your city by participating in various community service projects. You continue to be on every list that recognizes academic achievement. Highest SAT scores in the region and the state, largest percentage of students attending college immediately after graduation, and the largest number of students graduating from college in 4 years. And I'm sure that's very helpful to parents who don't want to pay for 5 years, 6 years, or 7 years. Graduates, as you transition into the next phases of your lives, whether that's working toward a traditional 4-year degree, working toward a 2-year degree or certificate in a skilled trade, entering the workforce, or joining the military, please know that City High Middle School and GRPS will continue to support you. You will forever be a member of our GRPS family, and if you ever need us, please do not hesitate to ask. In closing, thank you to the leadership team at City High Middle. Principal Ryan Huppert, first-year principal who's done a phenomenal job. His assistants, Mr. Harvey Crawley, Mrs. Charlie Vandervliet, and Mrs. Christy Modulewski. I would also like to thank senior class advisors Jason Stachura and Patricia Parkhurst, high school counselor Miss Ralston, and head secretary who does a tremendous amount, who helped us this evening, Alicia Albin. And before I go, let's take a moment to recognize the talented faculty and support staff of City High Middle School. Students, give your teachers one last round of applause. Class of 2018, congratulations.
Good evening. Before I begin with some parting remarks, I would like to give some thanks. I would like to thank all the city families and this entire Grand Rapids Public Schools community who have all played a role in helping our students get to this momentous occasion in their lives. I would like to give a special thanks to the City High Middle School staff once again for their commitment to serving our students. Seniors, this is a special day for you, but it is also a special day for all of us who have been with you through this journey. Personally, I would like to tell you all that I am honored to have shared this journey with each of you. For some of you, that has included serving as a principal to you in one school or another, from elementary school all the way through high school. We've worked together in some cases since the 2nd grade for more than 10 years. And in one case, that journey together started the moment you were born. You will all hold a special place in my heart and will always be a part of our city family. Seniors, I would like to take this opportunity as my last chance to impart some words of wisdom. This may not be the first time you've heard me say this, but I'm fairly confident it will be the last. So please take note, as I'm hopeful these 3 questions will be helpful to you in finding your way through life and the tough educational and career choices that lie ahead. You should ask yourselves these 3 questions when you come to those crossroads which require you to make a decision about who you want to become as a professional and what career is right for you. It may be that you may need to answer these questions only once or twice, but given our current rapidly evolving society, it is likely you will be faced with these decisions many times throughout your life. The first question is this: am I passionate about this work? Is this work something that I will love doing day in and day out for my whole life? Finding something that you are passionate about and will love doing for your life is probably the most important question to be able to answer with a yes. The second question is this: am I good at this work, and do I have a natural talent for succeeding in this work? Each of us has a unique skill set and individual gifts that we bring to the world. Finding out what those gifts are takes time and experience. Give yourself the opportunity to experience the world through diverse challenges. To better know yourself, travel wide, be a lifelong learner, and work hard. The easy path in life does not often shed a bright light on our true talents. They are made aware to ourselves and the world when we are called upon by challenges, adversity, hard work, and service. You will know what you are really made of when you are forced to dig deep to overcome obstacles in life. And now for the third, final guiding question. Will I be amply rewarded for my work? Will the payoff be worth the investment? Be it financial or emotional or service-oriented, will I be fully rewarded for the work that I do? Will it sustain myself and my family and my community throughout my life? You deserve the very best that is possible for you, and you are ultimately responsible for ensuring that you get the very best for yourself and your people. The final advice that accompanies these guiding questions is this: aim to be able to answer yes to all 3 of those questions when deciding on a career. A resounding yes to all 3 questions about your passions, talents, and reward is the ultimate goal in finding the best career path. However, when you are forced with the toughest decisions, you should at least aim for 2 of the 3. Answering yes to only one of those questions should force you to reconsider your path until you find the right path for yourself. Ultimately, in the years ahead, wherever they take you, I hope each of you will hold the following standard for yourself: don't settle for less when you can have it all. What the very best is will differ for each of you, but with that, you've already have some things in common. You have all chosen to take on the most rigorous and challenging high school curriculum in the world, the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. And I say this with much pride and happiness: you have all succeeded in that challenge by graduating here tonight. As we part ways here tonight, I leave you with that final charge. Don't settle for less when, with some hard work, grit, and determination, you can have it all. Now go out into the world and make us all proud again. At this time, I would like to recognize our valedictorians and salutatorians. This year, we have 8 valedictorians that equally share in that honor. Before I recognize them and call our valedictorian speaker forward, I would like to call our salutatorians to rise and be recognized. Our salutatorians are Naomi Billings, and Caden Birkins. Now I will call the names of our 8 valedictorians and ask that each one rise to be recognized. They are as follows: Alex and Kalata Stewart. Maximilian Coolidge Krauthamel. Ian Blackman Staves. Matthew Niles. Kat Vo. John Fung. Gabrielle Rabin. Rayan Zhang. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our valedictorian speaker. Matthew Niles is the class of 2018 co-president and will be giving tonight's valedictorian's address. Please welcome Matthew.
As an unknown but very observant person once said, IB is like learning to ride a bike, but the bike is on fire, and everything's on fire, because you're riding a bike through an inferno. Looking back at my time in the IB program at City, I have to say this is a pretty accurate analysis. So today I'd like to reminisce on our time in the International Baccalaureate program in the style of what I believe I can confidently say was everyone's favorite book to read, Dante's Inferno. Much like Dante, we entered the program not yet fit to participate in the outside world. While we were courageous, hardworking, and studious, we were also all very small and had a limited grasp on many important skills, both personal and educational, but especially hygiene-related, that we would learn throughout our time at City. Coming into City was scary to begin with. We had heard stories of its difficulties, and even as we walked through the halls on our first days, we saw older students all around us, working hard and preparing for the boatload of exams that they would have to take. Even from what we had heard and thought that we knew about City, none of us really had any idea of the wonderful, terrifying, exciting, incredibly stressful, but ultimately rewarding journey ahead of us through the circles that City High School had. In our first day, we entered the first circle of City and the IB program, the day-to-day work and requirements of our classes. In these days, as we fought through a level of work that most of us had never encountered before, we began to get a concept of the rules that ran the strange place into which we had somehow gotten ourselves. We discovered that the students here were ready and excited to learn and willing to put up with the daunting workload in order to do so. We learned that all of our teachers cared not only about our grades, but also the success and progress as both learners and people. And most importantly, we began to learn about the people who were coming on this journey with us, who over the next 2 to 6 years would progress from mere strangers to the close friends that we know them as today. Next, we entered the second circle in the form of our first test. Those of us who came in 7th grade will remember it distinctly. It was a Koreanic history quiz, and it was a killer. For those who came later, your first test could have been anything from a Vanink exam to a Latin roots quiz in SAT prep, but no matter what it was definitely tough. Through the stress and in many cases just pure terror that these tests brought about, they pushed us forward as a class. They brought us a sense of camaraderie and a feeling that what had seemed so impossible just days or weeks before could be conquered with a little support from the class around us. The support networks that we began to build during our first tests and assessments would last until this day and make our journey through IB just a little bit easier. Over the next couple of years, we made our way through most of the remaining circles. It wasn't always fun, and it definitely wasn't always pretty. We may have had to get some kind of creative with some of our cast reflections, or spend late nights cramming in some last-minute studying before a big test. And I'm still not quite sure that everyone's turned in their extended essay, but we persevered. With the help of Spark Notes, lots of caffeine, and most importantly, each other. Everyone seated here has experienced and overcome the highs and lows of their time at City. Throughout these experiences, we've bonded, advanced, and made important memories that will last and haunt us far after we've received our diplomas on this stage. It will be hard to forget 4 consecutive years of winning every dance competition at every assembly, or Liam emceeing dressed up as 11 from Stranger Things. Years from now, we may awake in a cold sweat, thinking that Neri has told us that our face is not symmetrical enough, or that we have forgotten to bring our homework to history class. And just 3 short weeks ago, we entered the final layer, IB exams. I could tell you all about the past couple of weeks of stress, studying, and test taking, but I think that it's too fresh and painful in all of our minds. So instead, I'll tell you what's really important. We're done. After all these years, all of the hurdles that we've had to overcome together, we have succeeded. We're ready to ascend back up out of the pits of IB and into the light of the real world. Now ready with heads full of knowledge, memories, and methods of personal hygiene. But just as Dante had 2 more long and difficult to understand books ahead of him as he emerged a changed man out of the inferno, we too have more unknown and exciting chapters ahead of us. But no matter where we are going or what we are doing in the years ahead, I am fully confident that each and every one of us is equipped to deal with whatever challenges we may encounter. Along this very stressful journey, we have announced as people, students, and IB learners. We have learned valuable lessons, built friendships that will last a lifetime, and shared many successes and failures. So to all of my classmates and partners on this incredibly stressful, beautiful, and fiery bike ride through an inferno, thank you and congratulations.
I would now like to introduce the City High Middle Jewel Tones as they perform Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Paul Simon.
when you're down and out, when you're on the street, my Lord, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes, and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. I'll be your bridge or troubled water. When you're down, I will carry you like a bridge or troubled water. I will lay me down.
Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on your way. See how they shine. Oh, if you ever need a friend, look around and sailing on behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. I'll be your bridge or troubled water. When you're down, I will carry you like a bridge or troubled water. I will lay me down, lay me down.
Our next speaker is the senior class co-president, Ellie Lancaster, who will introduce our keynote speaker. Please welcome Ellie.
Margaret A. Kearney is a senior staff attorney working in the Environmental Law and Policy Center's Grand Rapids, Michigan office. Ms. Kearney was previously a counsel at the Latham Watkins firm in the Environment, Land, and Resources Department, focusing on environmental enforcement, environmental litigation, and advising on environmental aspects of corporate and finance transactions. She represented clients on cases involving the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and valuation of environmental claims in bankruptcy proceedings. Before law school, she worked as an associate research economist at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. Ms. Kearney is a City High Middle alumna. She holds a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Chicago and a Juris Doctor law degree from Harvard Law School. Please welcome Margaret A. Kearney to the stage.
Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. I want to acknowledge Superintendent Teresa Weatherall-Neal, members of the board, and all of you for all of your work in supporting this amazing group of City High graduates. So 22 years ago, I was in this same beautiful space, and I sat in one of those same seats. And I wish I could tell you that I was overjoyed and inspired and felt like I was standing on the cusp of some brilliant adventure, but mostly, I was just done. I had just endured 6 years of what felt like a marathon, in addition to the painful awakenings that are par for the course for all adolescents. I had hours of homework, volunteer requirements, internships, part-time jobs. And I'm not sure there was any point in that 6 years where I felt like I was doing any of it particularly well. To top it off, I was looking down the barrel of 4 years at a college that I was certain had made some sort of terrible clerical error when it accepted me. So when Ryan asked me if I would come to graduation and give some brief, and he emphasized brief, remarks, I was incredibly excited. And then once I told him I would love to, my excitement transformed into intense and extreme anxiety, because I was pretty confident that for all of my grand aspirations to write the most moving and brilliant graduation speech ever, that would inspire you all to go forth and save the world, I would end up doing what I'd done so many times at City: procrastinate until the last minute and then berate myself for not learning from it last time. All right? So, while I will not reveal to you here tonight whether or not I wrote this speech in the back of an Uber on my way downtown, I will tell you something that I have learned in this process. Nobody remembers their graduation speaker. Unless you had the good fortune of going to school with someone who was related to Tina Fey, you ended up with someone a lot like me. All right, you got someone who'd been there and who had done that and really, really seemed to care about you in this almost kind of creepily earnest way, but nonetheless could not break through all the adrenaline that is coursing through your veins right now and will make this entire evening a fog. So that's super good news for me. And quite honestly, it forced me to err on the side of the practical rather than the profound. And Ryan was pretty clear that my allotted 10 minutes was a maximum, so I've boiled it down to 3 points. First, I want to tell you what I hope you have heard consistently over the last 6 years. You are pretty amazing. I may not know each of you individually, but by virtue of the fact that you and I shared these same seats for the same purpose, I know something about you. I know that you know how to deal with failure, with disappointment, and with hardship. And I know that in 22 years, and hopefully sooner, you will recognize that a high school that forces you to experience those things is not trying to punish you, it is trying to make you stronger. And in moments when you need it, you will remember that. And that memory will make you stronger. You also know what it feels like to succeed. Real success, the kind you actually worked for, not the kind that was handed to you. I want you to remember that feeling and to carry it with you for those days, those months, and those years when successes are few and far between. I know that you can solve problems, that you are not afraid to have a candid discussion about topics that are challenging and uncomfortable, and to do so with respect and civility, and frankly, we need more of that in this world. So second, I want to tell you that it's perfectly okay if you don't believe a word of what I just said about you being amazing. When I graduated from City High School, in that section of the yearbook where students bequeath items, My entry stated, "To City High School, I leave my inferiority complex because that's where I got it." I suspect that even though each one of you has been told you are amazing, each one of you has also at times not believed it. At some point you felt like the charade that is your life is hanging on by a mere thread, that you have built a house of cards that at any moment could all come tumbling down. Looking at your faults, at all of the cracks in your lining, you have concluded that you must not be amazing. And just so you know, that is normal. When I sat where you are, I didn't believe I was amazing. When I sat where you are, I was a little bit worried that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. There were, of course, a couple kids in my class who had it all planned out. They would be lawyers, accountants, dentists, teachers. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to be somewhere else. And it turns out that both paths are okay, because if you know what you want, by all means go out and grab it, and don't let anyone stand in your way. But for those of you who don't yet know, it turns out that's okay too, because very few people in life end up doing just one thing. And 22 years later, I can fairly say that while the trajectory of my life might make sense to someone looking at it from the outside, I still ask myself on almost a daily basis what I want to do with my life. That's what people mean when they say it's the journey, not the destination. Because there is no destination. There is no pinnacle of achievement. Life is all journey and no destination. Third and finally, I want you all to know that you not only belong in the room, you have an obligation to be there. I can tell you this for certain. One day, you will walk into a room, and the people in it will make you feel like you don't belong there. You might not have the right skin color, be the right gender. You might have too many children, or not enough. You might be too liberal or too conservative. You might love the wrong people, speak with the wrong voice. Your clothes may be too shabby. If you're lucky, they may be too nice. But you know what's worse? It might not be the other people in the room who make you feel like you don't belong. It might be the voice in your head telling you that you are not smart, that you aren't prepared, that you can't handle it, that you need not take the risk of failing, and you're better off going home and binge watching Netflix. And here is what you will do in those situations. You will swallow hard. You will count to 3, and you will act like you don't know that you're not supposed to be in that room. And you will do that because you are needed there, because what every room needs is someone who can think critically, who knows the value of hard work, who understands what it means to be committed and dedicated. And each one of you sitting here tonight is here because you know what all of those things mean. I think we should applaud. So I hit my 3 points, and I want to leave you with something that you might find a little bit cheesy. When I went to the University of Chicago and then Harvard Law School, I was struck by how seriously those institutions took themselves. How many rituals they observed, traditions they respected, ceremonies that they performed. And here tonight I wonder, why don't we do that here? And maybe they did it at my graduation, but like the identity of the speaker, I just can't remember it. Maybe we are doing it. Maybe part of it is the continuity of this beautiful space that we are all in tonight together. But I need you all to know that we, you, and I are part of a proud tradition. And what is even better, we are part of a non-traditional tradition. If you crunch the numbers on City, put us into some big statistical model to predict our success, you wouldn't see it. Privilege is not what put anyone on the path to success at City. It was grit, it was endurance, and it was a deep respect for knowledge. And what we have collectively created is a tradition. It is a tradition of excellence and of leadership that we must celebrate. So tonight, let's continue in one tradition that does have deep roots in this space. When I came here as a small child on Sunday mornings, I had the great honor of hearing Duncan Littlefair welcome all who were seated here. This is indeed a day which God has made. Let us then rejoice in it and be glad, and let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. Let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life, and let us be especially grateful for the ties of love which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all our days. And then, let's add something. To account for the fact that while hearing those words makes me want to live my life like that, deep down, I wonder if I could ever be so perfect as to do so. If I really am that amazing, if I actually do belong in the same room, on the same podium as Duncan Littlefair. So I'm gonna follow my advice to you. I'm gonna swallow hard, and I'm gonna count to 3, and then I'm going to add to our tradition this somewhat non-traditional offering from the late, great Leonard Cohen. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That is how the light gets in. Thank you, and my most sincere congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Kearney, Margarita. Now I would like to invite our graduates to the stage for an individual presentation of their diploma. Announcing the names of the graduates this evening are City High Middle faculty members Ms. Erin Emperor, Ms. Erin Burke, and Ms. Erin Castillo. The senior class in the City High Middle School community requests your cooperation in refraining from loud disruptive noises during this presentation, as we want every graduate to have his or her special moment, and would appreciate it if you would limit your applause to each row as the graduates return to their seats. Thank you. Will the first row please stand?
Shelby Pearl Amaya. Sadie Ann Arizola. Zoe Sullivan Atkins. Grayson Thomas Adden Dornbos. Andres Cesar Bakuli. Jennifer Lee Bell. Sydney Paige Berg. Caden John Berkins. Naomi Marie Hutzinger Billings. Ian Alexander Blackman Staves. Jackson Edward Boyever. Chloe Olivia Bauer. Gabrielle Joy Brainerd. Sarah Catherine Brinks. Victoria Elise Bronk. Raina Leilan Bowie. Liam Douglas Bukowski. Kevin Angel Cano Santillanes. Jonathan Lee Carl. Maximilian Eric Coolidge Krautmel. Tammy Tan Don. Nicole Christine Davis. Yadira Smith de Leon Lopez. Jaquan M. Doris. Ashton Danielle Duncan. Alexander James Dyke. Alex Josue Encolada Stewart. Donovan Graham Eastep.
Faith Allison Faber.
Carl Verhaeg Falg. Elizabeth Ray Farmer. Gerardo Garcia Pantoja. Natalie Joy Gilbert. Griffin Matthew Halloran. Donnie Brian Hernandez. Eduardo Alberto Hernández Santizo. Morgan Noel Hollemans. Micah Ryan Huppert. Cole Brian Hink. Antonio Jaimes Bautista. Jama Jama. Jalen Eric Jennings. Jalen Eric Jennings. Give him another one. Elijah Matthew Johnson Eldridge. Farai Johnson. Nicholas Charles Kampschulte. Margaret Helen Kirkbride. Naomi Marie Coster. Lauren Ann Couzet. Elizabeth Catherine Danielle Lancaster.
Michael Austin Law. Miles Thomas Lawton. Kathy Woon Lee. Destiny Nicole Louise Lemons. Braden Lettinga. Eleanor Jane Lowen. Neri Audel Luis Arellanes.
Ryan Khan Liu. Madison Shea Lytle. Eva Grace Mealing. Malay Elizabeth Moody. Elizabeth Motha. Leah Nicole Murray. Matthew Atticus Niles. David Wen. Katia Noel Olexa. Kevin Daniel O'Neill. Edward Irving Orr. Leslie Elizabeth Owen. Juan Paulo Asael Palacios. Rafael Paz. Ricardo Paz. John Lee Fung. Gabrielle June Rabin. Paulo Herrerin Rodas Mazariegos. Sage Taylor Rogers. Sarah Elizabeth Spencer. Heather Christie Stevie. Elena Kayan Stratton. Andrew Patrick Crine Sullivan. Maria Esmeralda Velasquez Lopez. He Cat Vo. Newton Taylor Vongmenivan. Quinlan Marcellus Webster. Madeline Grace Young. Rayan An Sung.
President Faub, would you please join me at the podium? Tonight, I present to you 85 candidates for graduation. As principal of City High Middle School, I certify that all candidates who will be receiving diplomas have met or exceeded all of the requirements as set forth by the Grand Rapids Public Schools Board of Education and the state of Michigan.
On behalf of the Board of Education, faculty, and staff of the Grand Rapids Public Schools, it is my honor to accept the graduating class of 2018 for City High Middle School, and with the power vested in the board by the state of Michigan, I hereby confer diplomas on each. Congratulations.
Will the members of the class of 2018 please rise and face the audience?
Members of the class of 2018, join me in moving your tassels from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present City High School's graduating class of 2018. Until the graduates and stage guests have left the auditorium, please join us in the social hall for a reception of light snacks and coffee. Thank you. Will our honored stage guests and graduates please rise for our recessional?